Howdy everyone. Join me as I am going to take an oil sample of the dad wagon and send it off to get examined. Jump on in the car with me and we'll grab a sample. Alright, so you would have seen I'd taken my oil analysis sample. So that was for the last servicing that I just did. So as in background, I usually like to do the oil changes every 5,000 Ks on this thing. So I did the sample on the 9th of May, oil analysis company, so it went to ALS Tribology. They got it on the 15th of May, and then I got my email report on the 20th. So 3 weeks all up. I'm not too sure if that's good, bad, or indifferent, but a reasonable turnaround time, I would imagine. I was primarily interested in doing this because I've done most of the maintenance on my own vehicles where possible. For those who've seen, I had my R31 Skyline. That was a twin cam non-turbo 2630 setup. Had a Nissan Pathfinder 4-wheel drive. Had a Kia Carnival, which Kia did most of the maintenance on that. Plus a couple other bits and pieces, like a couple other cars here and there, bikes, and then obviously the Evo. So I've seen what good oil looks like, what used oil looks like, and what I had been noticing with the Evo was the oil was very watery when it was being changed. I'm running a 10W40, which is a fairly standard weight of oil for these things. I'm currently using a Penrite synthetic. So this is the stuff that I'm currently using, just Penrite's full syn 1040. Haven't had a need or reason to want to change it, but the purpose of doing the oil change was actually just to see how well it was actually doing. So the car at that point in time had done 205,000 Ks, about halfway to the next service interval if I keep it at 5,000 Ks. You can, on the little report, I got a kit through, for those in Australia at least anyway, through autosphere.com.au. I can probably leave a link to their website, so if you're interested in doing this yourself, I would consider it reasonably worthwhile. Some of the notes that I put in it is I primarily run this vehicle on E10. That's basically its daily fuel. Going back to, I think I did the last interval in May for the oil. I think before that was in about February, like just after I come back from Queensland. So the oil had done a few months, but obviously in that time period between February and May, all the bullshit near the Middle East and the bloody Strait had kind of started, and all the fuel went absolutely bonkers. So I just, for shits and gigs, because I run a flex fuel sensor, can put E85 through this, noting that it has got a completely factory fuel system. So I had actually run E85 through it for a few hundred kilometres on top of doing the E10. Used Ryco oil filters, and at At the moment, I am aware that this thing currently has a small internal oil leak. I believe that's through the valve stems, which is hopefully getting rectified within the next few weeks. The car's going back to driven mid-July to have some of that work done. So it does burn a little bit of oil. I top it up somewhere between 500 to maybe 1,000 milliliters of oil over that 5,000 K period. Overall, all the wear metals are pretty good. There is absolutely nothing significant there. There was nothing of concern that they picked up in the report. You also get a breakdown of like all the additive packages, so like all the wear chemicals along with all the detergents that are in the fuel that protects your motor. Those are all, some of them have obviously come down a little bit from what I could find from the manufacturer's spec. So they're being used, burnt, whatever the case may be. However, what was probably of the biggest concern is a significant degradation in the viscosity of the oil, which kind of confirmed what I was looking at when I was doing my oil changes. So the biggest one was the viscosity, Center Stokes at, was it 40 degrees Celsius? So usually most of the oils come with like a viscosity rating at like 40 degrees centigrade and then 100 degrees centigrade. The one for 40 degrees had significantly reduced. Basically means the oil was just being torn up effectively. The other one of note was fuel dilution. So I'm not too sure if this was down to the very small percentage of time that I ran the car on E85 with just the dilution that got in. However, when I did the oil change, it definitely did not smell of fuel. You can definitely tell when you were running very, very rich, your oil will smell literally like petrol. The fuel was mildly concerning. I have since replaced just the OEM fuel pressure regulator because I was just seeing some funky stuff with the fuel gauge, and funnily enough, it has somewhat resolved my problem. So there may have been a non-stable pressure at the rail, which may have either been dumping too much fuel into the cylinders and causing what can be seen in the fuel in the oil currently. So this service interval, I'm going to cut it back to 4,000 K just to see and do another analysis to see, one, if the degradation of the oil is the same and or if the fuel dilution is of the same percentage. But when I do the next service interval, I'm going to be putting in a different oil. So I just showed before that I had this Penrite full synthetic 10W40. What I'm going to do is put in the Racing 10/10 oil. So there's specific groups of oil, I think it is, like group 3, 4, something like that. And then you get basically into the racing oils that have a whole bunch of ester and other bits and pieces in them, the POA oils. These ones, as it says on the label, is shear free. So what should happen is the viscosity breakdown that has been occurring. So I can even show you on here. So this viscosity breakdown, this is at 40 centigrade, and the top one is at 100 centigrade. That should be significantly less by going to the uprated oil. I thought the racing oil was probably going to be a bit overkill because I don't track the car, it's daily driven, I drive it probably 30k a day, 40k a day potentially, so it gets warm enough to kind of get the oil going, burn off any shit in the oil, not doing any high speed stuff. However, here we are. So it really does pay to get an analysis done so you actually know what is going on. The kit was $50 and that included an express postage bag to send back for your analysis. So the kit, the express postage back, I think it was an absolutely great deal. So you can kind of see what I went through and found what factory measurements I could. So the viscosity for 40 centigrade, I think that is supposed to be 98 centistokes. And you can see, yeah, it's come down to 70, along with viscosity at 100 C is usually 14.6 normal, and then it's come down to 11.7. That didn't flag. However, the viscosity at 40 C did, and the fuel percentage, so the dilution. These are all the additive packages and the chemicals that are in those. These were the ones that I could find from Penrite, who do a really good job of actually making this publicly available, mind you, which is excellent. So you can see, yeah, some of it's still on the motor, still on some old oil that I couldn't get out, whatever it may be. And obviously for motor health, so this one is the one to see if things are chewing themselves apart. And yeah, there's no particular issues here. So this was their diagnosis. Yeah, all wear levels appear within acceptable limits for first sample. Silicon level dirt sealant material is satisfactory, so that means I've got good filtration. Water content acceptable. Massive fuel dilution occurring. So, which is funny because it doesn't smell like fuel, and I would be absolutely shocked to see what number came up percentage wise with the factory fuel map in it. Like it is horrendous. Yeah, viscosity slightly lower than typical at 40 degrees centigrade, within range at 100. Checking all injectors, fuel pumps and internal fuel lines for fuel leak. Yeah, so that's the report. So I think that has been a $50 very well spent. So the plan is to get another analysis kit. I'm going to shorten the service interval by 1,000 Ks in the event that I haven't solved the fuel dilution issue. Likewise, if the the oil is tearing itself apart, I want to get it out sooner and get the Racing 1010s in there. And I will do another analysis with that fuel after a full 5,000 Ks as well, which will happen before the end of the year. So yeah, I'll more than likely get another, what are we at? 7,500 Ks in before the end of the year for sure. So that was my oil analysis adventure. So I'll definitely do another video with updates with the next lot and then the lot after that, and we can do a bit of a comparison. So pretty happy. I'll probably give you a bit of a show and tell on some of the stuff that I've picked up recently for some mods that have come up later in the year. Yes, I'm also wearing my hoodie because it is very cold in South Australia at the moment, and my garage is even more so. I have picked up a GFB internal wastegate for some work that is coming up. This comes factory with a 17 PSI gate pressure spring set up in it. So there's two springs that equal out to 17 pound with an additional 5 pound spring to crank it up to 22 if you want. Got an Artec dump pipe. So that's all nice and new and shiny. and picked up some rims. So these are Evo 10 GSR rims. These are an 18 by 8.5. Proper look, yeah, plus 38. So 18 by 8.5 plus 38 offset. Picked these up I had these delivered from Up Garage in Japan. So overall condition of the rims, they're pretty straight. I still need to get them balanced just to verify everything's okay. The rims themselves, $580 for a set of Evo 10 GSR rims. However, the shipping was $1,100 and some change. So I've paid about the price that you would pick them up for here in Australia. However, I had them delivered from Japan because these are a very popular choice for Evo owners still wanting a factory type of look, but going to an 18-inch rim. The stockies, the Evo 9 Enkeis, these are a 17 by 8 plus 38. So hopefully get a little bit more size, can get a 245 tire on there instead of a 235 that's on there currently. Yeah, get a bit more width, get a bit more tread, and just fill out the guards just ever so slightly. And I should still be fine for clearance without needing to roll the guards or any inner fender clearance issues. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, mentioned that I had the fuel pressure regulator replaced. I'd put that on. Also got a nice Plazaman replacement intercooler put in, and a GFB dual port response blow-off valve as well. So yeah, that's a bit of an update where the car is currently, and in the next couple of weeks it's going to be going in for some more work, and I'll probably do a video once all that's complete. Peace.